Miles, we have to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals with a absolutely massive 20-16 road win over the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. This is a Bengals team that's still beat up. They're missing a lot of key guys, namely Jamar Chase. There were some reports that he could come back this week. Unfortunately, he did not suit up, but fortunately, the Bengals were able to overcome his absence with a really physical, dominant performance. The score was closer than obviously the domination, but I think this was a really strong statement victory for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know you have a few points you want to hit on. Before I hand over to you, Bengals fans, we want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Give us your MVP of this game. There's a lot of guys you could throw out there as a potential MVP. It was kind of a massive team victory, offense, defense, but we want to hear from you. Give us one guy specifically that you thought really stood out in the comment section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on this just huge Cincinnati victory.
All right, Nick. Point number one I want to hit on is Derrick Henry. Before this game, 88.5 PFF ranking, number 4 overall running back in the NFL this season. He's been phenomenal. We all know how good of a running back he is. But today, held to just 38 yards, 2.2 yards per carry by this Bengals defense. And I think that is very, very impressive. This is a Bengals team without Jamar Chase who comes into a game where Ryan Tannehill is back. This is not a one-dimensional Titans offense anymore, and they are able to stop the run. They shut it down, and I really like that because, like they said, this team, the Titans, they're a very strong team. They're a playoff-ready team. They have a strong defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL at this point in time, a very good run game. But the Bengals were able to score enough points on a tough defense and shut down the run and stymie the Titans offense. Nick, I think that was a huge thing today. And also with Joe Mixon out, Samaje Perine had a serviceable day in the running department. He looks like a guy who can carry the load if Mixon's out. It's great to have depth at the running back position. And I think that this shows that the Bengals aren't one-dimensional. They don't have to rely on Chase. They don't have to rely on Mixon. They have guys that can come up and make plays, and you need depth like this to go on a championship run, Nick. So I like both of these points. What do you like about the Bengals today?
So I'm just going to take the next level approach the way you were, and everything you said there was right on the money, right? But I want to talk about why this is so big for the Bengals and why I was so impressed. Because the Bengals last year with their playoff run, they relied a lot on big plays, mainly Jamar Chase, right? Joe Burrow magic, right? That kind of was their MO last year. That's just how they got things done. They overcame terrible weaknesses on the offensive line, right? They weren't as physical at times against some other teams. This is a Tennessee Titans football team, Miles, that is known for being physical. They don't have all the weapons on the outside. They're not great at a lot of positions. They're not great at quarterback necessarily, but they're known for running the football, physical offensive line, and getting after the quarterback and stopping the run on defense. That's what they're known for. That's how they win games. That's Vrabel's MO to a T. And the Bengals went to Nashville, and on those 4 points, they absolutely dominated the Titans, right? You talked about shutting down Derrick Henry. How about this offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals? Gave up 1 sack, Miles. This is, of course, on the heels of the divisional playoff round last year. They gave up, I think, 8, 9. It was something egregious. It was something ridiculously high. To come back this week and only give up 1 sack, that proves to me that this is a Bengals team that now has multiple ways to win. They're not trying to overcome a weak offensive line anymore. They can actually have enough stability there to do other things. They don't have to rely on big plays to get out of those tough situations. They can run the football with a backup running back, which means the offensive line had a good day. I think the rookie Volson made a number of key blocks. He was a physical guy. Lyle Collins battled through some injuries. I think he had a really nice day. I was really impressed, Miles, with this offensive line up front, and I was really impressed, frankly, with the Bengals defensive line too. And I think that's what really sets them apart from last year, and why I think they're even more of a threat this year, because the offensive line and defensive line, if you have a core group in there that can get the job done on the road, you can beat anybody, anywhere, anytime, even if you're missing a few key players, say like the Bengals showed. So I think that was the big takeaway from my end.
Yeah, and I liked T. Higgins. He had such a big day. He was such a great player. And it just showed the offense seemed at times last year, it would just flow through Jamar Chase. Burrow Chase. Jamar Chase, phenomenal young player. But T. Higgins has shown that he's kind of almost just as good. He can put up the same numbers that Jamar Chase can in his absence. And every Bengals fans know how good T. Higgins has been. But it just goes to show, when you have this depth, like we said, when you have a offensive line who's giving Burrow the time that he needs to throw, this is a dangerous team. And, the beginning of the season was kind of rough for the Bengals. They have now flourished, and now we're seeing the same team that made the long, long playoff run last year. This is the time that they're getting hot, Nick. They're looking like a playoff caliber team again. They're beating tough teams, Titans 7-4 at the time. Really tough team. They play a lot of hard games. You don't want to go up against the Titans because they're going to make you grind this game out. It's going to be a tough game to win. So I think this is a huge win for the Bengals, huge boost in confidence, and showing them that they can do it with anybody on the field and that this offensive line is massively improved.